Good morning, Maggie.
Hi, good morning, Scott.
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you for your grace with my computer issues.
It actually worked out well for me. It gave me time to do a couple things. I'm actually propped up in bed, and I've got my pupster here with
Oh,
me as well. She's in her favorite position, lying on my tummy.
how sweet. What's her name?
This is Jasmine Bear.
Oh,
I think
I
you've met her. I think,
think so.
yeah, you met her. She was with me when we connected in Ashland.
Yeah, yeah, it's so beautiful. We lost our sweet doggy. She crossed over in January, and so
Oh,
I'm still, she was my soulmate dog, and so
totally.
it's been very, very tender, but she was a golden doodle, so she had a similar look to your sweet Jasmine bear. So
Mm. How long were you fortunate to have her?
9 years. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, she was young. She just got an aggressive melanoma and we had a really sweet last few months and the whole thing was really beautiful how it all happened. And
Mm.
she's still very present with me.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
it's really, really beautiful. And I am definitely like it's been a huge grief process. So they're so, especially our soul. I mean, all of our pets have our hearts, right? But there's certain ones that are our soulmates that just it's different. So
My number one fantasy for when I die is to be reconnected with my dogs,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and to
I
see them
think
all together, right?
yeah.
It's because they are our deepest, most beautiful soul family.
Mhm.
The unconditional love that we experience with them, and yeah, and I just yeah, I really hope that's how it plays out.
I really think it will. Like I have this sense that it really will. I've connected with mediums and things like that. Not a lot, but I hear that that's what a lot of people say happens. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh, well,
Mm.
it's so beautiful to connect. I'm really grateful that this worked out this morning, and I'm really grateful to
Yeah,
be on the show tomorrow night.
I
That'll be
know it's amazing. It's gotten to the point where my show just flows. Like it's really interesting. Like I on Wednesday's show, I had already scheduled that the topic was going to be, managing, unique psychic abilities. And so I'd already made the poster and booked the people. And then the day before on Tuesday, one of my regulars says, Scott, I've connected with this family from the telepathy tapes. Um, and I would love to have them on the show. And it was like the topic was like to have two um, uh, nonverbal young people demonstrating their telepathy with my friend who's regular on the show on a show that we had already booked. That's kind of what the topic was, right? It's becoming that way. There's just a perfect synchronicity to my shows.
It's amazing to me how the synchronicities are more and more coming like they've I think they've probably been present in our lives for a long time and it just there's so I just see it all the time everywhere now. It's like
Yeah.
life is one big synchronicity now in the experience of it and it's really really precious, really really precious to be in that flow.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful you're experiencing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be perfect to have you on the show. And I'm going to kind of build the show around you, because everybody wants to know what's going on astrologically. So, yeah, yeah. You're definitely going to be the
Beautiful.
centerpiece of the show tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be really grateful to share. It's such I mean, we're in a place where we've never been in as like humans that, it's been thousands of years since we've had some of the certain astrological aspects that we've had this year. And we really are like energetically moving into a new time. And it's fascinating to see how it's playing out for us internally and externally, and for having our own experience of it. And it really, it's like no other time. It's like
Yeah.
no other time that we've existed in. So I'm really grateful to be able to, like, I love to be able to share about the energy of it. So I won't get too far down a rabbit hole with it right now because I'll share a lot tomorrow. But
Yeah, yeah. We'll wait till tomorrow. And how are you and our beloved Magic doing?
we're so great. We just came back from Egypt and it was just like, I mean, we've had lots of activations at sacred sites all over the world and, been moved and transformed and but Egypt is different. So, like there's definitely a different energy there that some of the like we're both fundamentally changed from our time
Mhm.
in Egypt. Like we are fundamentally different in ways we didn't intend, like we it was not like we certain in we often have intentions when we're going to sacred sites and sometimes we don't. It's not always, but we there's a lot of things that were ways that were different that it's like there wasn't intention that we would be different in these ways, and we just are. And
Mm,
I think more than anything for both of us, we both just connected more to this precious present moment, sweetness of life energy, like just the sweetness that it is to be in a human body and be here incarnated on earth at this time. Like it's just really there's a frequency that I feel more embodied in than I ever have before of the and what I'll describe it is just the sweetness of life, and it's
mm,
precious. It's just precious. I'm just like, I'm really, really enjoying just being here now. And it's special. It's very special.
wow.
Yeah.
And how's Magic's health? I know sometimes
Good.
he's had health
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah,
Good.
really well. We're excited to take, we have our Mount Shasta retreat this summer, and then we're going to take a group to Egypt next year. And we did a Maui retreat a couple months ago. We'll probably do another Maui retreat next year. So yeah, he's doing really good, really good. I,
And I
I
think you said,
honestly, in some ways, I feel like he gets more and more energy as time goes on. So it's really,
oh, that's fantastic. Well, being married to you, I think is quite the blessing.
well, thank you. I feel the same being married to him. It's very, as someone who has had their person, I mean, it's to be with your person. It's quite a spectacular thing. So
Mm,
we
yeah.
feel we feel really met and matched, and it's really really profound. So very very grateful for this life. Very very grateful.
Mm, I love hearing that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I'm excited that we get to talk today because about what's happening for you energetically because you've been going through quite a like a shift in a lot of ways over the last couple years. There have been a lot of really profound energetic shifts. Like you've had Pluto on your Venus and your Chiron, and you've also had Uranus on your moon. Those are once in a lifetime, if not once in a multi-lifetime
Oh,
experience,
wow.
and they've really it's shifted you, and in some ways you're sort of coming out on the other side of a lot of these energies, which may feel a little more like moving into more of a settled period, and in other ways they're still working with you a lot. So um I'm really like I think it's really a great time to connect and talk about it and get some clarity about like around how the energies, I'm sure you have a lot of your own inner guidance on how they're working with you, but just the way that the universe is working with you to expand more and experience more of the love that you are, and really to bring more of your healing, the healing energy that you hold within you out into the world even more.
Mm, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just so grateful to be getting you know, it's a blessing to be having this experience with you this morning. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Are you okay if I call in the angels and then we just
Absolutely. I surrender completely to the Maggie experience.
fantastic. So I encourage both of us to close our eyes and bring all of our energy and our attention and our focus to our heart centers, that beautiful place of divine love that lives in each of us, that is each of us. Let's start taking some nice, big, deep breaths into our hearts, awakening more and more to the purity of the divine love consciousness that we each are in these beautiful physical bodies. With each deep breath, allowing that awareness of that purity of love to expand more and more, allowing that to awaken in every single cell of our whole body. And on our next big deep breath, seeing if we can expand that awareness out around our bodies so that we're each held in this beautiful sacred container of the purity of our own divine love consciousness. Holy source of all that is, beautiful angels of the Christ-like consciousness, all of Scott and I's guardian angels and guides and benefic helper beings, all of these beautiful, loving, supportive energies of the cosmic realms and the earthly realms, known and unknown. Thank you for joining Scott and I in this sacred container, in this sacred connection. Thank you for making me a pure, clean, potent source of energy, of information, of keys, codes, downloads, wisdom, healing, knowledge, whatever energy is here to flow through me today for Scott. Allow me to be a pure, clean, potent channel of this and allow me to transmit and deliver this energy in a way that's easily accessible, that's easily utilized and beneficial for Scott, and direct me to what's most important for him to know in this now precious present moment. And may all that comes from Scott and I's time together in all time and space, in all quantum realities, in all lifetimes, and all timelines go towards placing Scott firmly grounded in his every precious present moment on his highest divine timeline for this lifetime, the timeline where he's easily and beautifully co-creating with Source, his heart and soul's heaven on earth, thereby helping to create heaven on earth for all, for Scott's highest good, for my highest good, and for the highest good of all that is, and so it is. Blessed be. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mm.
Mm.
Blessed be. Aho. Ashe. Amen.
And
That was a
so,
perfect prayer. That was like perfect. That's
yeah,
exactly the way yeah, we're very much in alignment in the way we think. Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. And it brings us right to the heart and right to this moment. And I feel so supported, when I'm doing this. I often it's like sometimes it can be like such a strong channel of information that comes through. So if
Mhm.
at any point I'm just talking and talking, please feel free to interrupt if you have any questions or anything. Like, do not hesitate to stop me.
Well, your prayer is exactly what I was like, whatever the highest realms want for me to know is there's no question that I have. It's like that's it. Like whatever wants to come through, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that I want to talk about, because it's really profound, honestly. You've been going through having Pluto on your Venus and Pluto on your Chiron for about the last, I mean, you've been feeling it for about 2 years now.
Hmm.
And maybe even nearing towards three, because once Pluto and Saturn conjuncted at 0 degrees of Aquarius in January of 2020. So, I mean, the truth is you could have been feeling it as far back as 2020, but it's been most significant for the last approximately 2 years because your Venus, Pluto's very slow moving. It has like a 260 some year orbit. So when you have a Pluto connection with a certain point in your chart, it is a once in a multi-lifetime connection. So some people will never have Pluto on their Venus or Pluto on their Chiron in their lifetimes. And this is really significant. Pluto on your Venus especially is that transit is, I'm going to say it's complete because Pluto's not going to go back to 2 degrees of Aquarius. And Pluto will transit back to 3 degrees and 5 minutes of Aquarius later this year. So it gets within 1 degree still of your Venus. So you're still feeling its impacts. They're not as solid. You're kind of through the most of the transformative process of this transit, but you're still finding your new footing from this. It's not settled yet. And what Pluto on your Venus does, especially in your eighth house, is it's totally transforming completely what you value, how you value your own self-worth, your own ability to receive, um, really to receive anything, to receive love, to receive money, to receive frequency, to receive expansion, to receive healing,
Mm-hmm.
because your Venus and your Chiron are right next to each other. And really I'm going to say to also transmit those things.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a really profound ability to be transmittive with healing and love and frequency. And you're not you're still revolutionizing internally in your transmittive ability of these really powerful, I would say, unconditional love and healing through unconditional love. And it's still being, you're still dying to frequency patterns and old values, old ways of undervaluing yourself. And frankly, a lot of it's unconscious. A lot of the stuff that you're still dying to lives beneath the layer of your normal level of consciousness because it's eighth house. It's ways that you have been patterned to undervalue your own healing abilities through because of past life or early childhood traumas or abuses or addictive cycles, like shadow stuff. Because the eighth house holds, it's ruled by Pluto itself. So you have Pluto transiting the eighth house right now. And the eighth house is where we hold, it's like the deep well of existence that we can't see. And it's where we're called to be great in greater intimacy with ourselves and with all of life. And it's frankly where we put things that we're afraid of for any number of reasons, right? So what Pluto has been doing, Pluto's been in your eighth house for approximately 10 years now. And what it's doing is it's unearthing everything from the unconscious that lives beneath the surface. So it's the most powerful shadow work you can do when you have Pluto in the eighth house. So you're in
Oh,
a 20, not a 20-year cycle of the most powerful, like, looking into the shadow. Now, the shadow is it's not, doesn't have the negative connotation in the work that I do that some people would consider shadow work. It's just that which is unseen,
yeah.
you know? So you having Venus and Chiron, and I'm going to get to Ceres because Pluto's coming for your Ceres, but you have Venus, Chiron, and Ceres in your eighth house, and you have you already have a deep enjoyment and find deep healing when you swim in the deep waters of your shadow.
Mm.
When you go, you're a very transmutive, transformative person. You're someone who I would call Plutonian by nature
Mm.
because of these placements. Anybody who has especially Venus in the eighth house, you really you enjoy deep intimacy. Like you do not prefer, it's interesting because you're a Gemini rising. So Gemini is the opposite of this. Gemini likes to be light and playful and stay on the surface and really loves to connect with a lot of people, but not like that like really deep dive connection. They like to have lots of connections that feel light and friendly and chatty and and they really enjoy that. But you have this beautiful Venus in the eighth house that you're like, actually, I want to take all of those deep, deep. Like, so you have these two kind of seemingly different parts of your personality that loves to connect far and wide with the masses and lots of people, but you also really, really love to go deep, deep, deep into connection. You want, you enjoy the meat of life and you actually have a great responsibility to to be in that realm, to
Mm.
connect in that way. And so like when I say that realm, the eighth house, Pluto, death, sex, um, and just the being deeply intimate in
Mm.
ways that humans aren't typically, right?
Mm.
And you have a vast ability to do it. You have this way because you have that Gemini rising and that Venus in your eighth house, your Saturn in in Scorpio, your Mars in Scorpio, your Neptune in Scorpio. You have this really beautiful ability to make people feel safe in the dark.
Yeah.
And that is profound. Your Taurus moon really helps with that too. Your Taurus moon helps people feel so safe and secure, looking in places that they wouldn't normally feel safe looking at, becoming intimate with parts of self that they normally wouldn't feel comfortable looking at. And you also, because of this mastery of consciousness in this way, you're this way with yourself, right? You're like, I will look at every part of me. And in fact, I enjoy it. I want to. I get pleasure in knowing all the parts of myself. And I have a great soul responsibility to do this. It's part of my greater responsibility as a soul here in life to do this and to manifest healing in this realm. I have to as a soul. Your Saturn at 28 degrees of Scorpio in your sixth house says, I have to, and my work has to manifest healing in this realm. I have to manifest deep, and it's interesting because it's what I keep saying is deep intimacy with shadow, but that's it's the richness of life that most people will look away from, right? And you are being transformed in this ability even more so right now. And
Mm.
your values around it are being transformed even more. And the way that you find pleasure in it, and the way that you're able to actually receive value and investment from the world is being transformed because of your ability. So, with Venus in the eighth house, your Chiron in the eighth house, your Ceres in the eighth house, these and with Pluto now transforming this, you're being opened to receive even more from the world around you, investing in you because of your ability. And that's with Pluto on your Venus, and now Pluto's going to be coming for your Ceres. Your Ceres is at 8 of Aquarius. So starting, let's see here, Pluto's going to get to, it's not going to start until 2028, but Pluto is going to start to transit your Ceres. And Ceres is the planet of harvest. There's different things in a chart that represent wealth, abundance, money, and value. Venus, Ceres, Jupiter are all planets that I would say represent that. They represent a lot of other things, but also that. And the eighth house is a place of a lot of things. It's the shadow, it's death, it's sex, it's intimacy, it's actually taxes live here. Um, Other people's money, other people investing in us and being able to receive that investment. So you already have a natural ability with your Venus and your Ceres here to receive investment from the world because of your natural healing ability in the realm of the eighth house things.
Mm,
And you naturally carry that. Like people are drawn to you and want to invest in you. I haven't even spoken about your you have your Mercury in the eighth house too. It's actually in Capricorn, but and your Characlo, you hold so much healing of this realm. And what's so beautiful about it is the healing when we come into intimacy, it's coming into intimacy with all parts of ourselves,
mhm,
right? And that's what you're a master of. And that's what you're able to transmit. And you communicate it, you teach it, and you can help people heal in it.
mm,
And it's just this beautiful mastery of consciousness. And you can communicate it about it in a way that's soft and feminine and healing that doesn't scare people.
mhm,
It's like being able to walk people into the dark, talk to them, teach them about it, help them feel safe in it. And then it brings so much harmonization to the frequency that
mm,
exists there.
mm,
And what's happening is that as Pluto has made its way through your eighth house over the last 10-ish years and is now, going over your Venus, going over your Chiron, going over your Ceres, your ability to receive even more value,
mm,
like actual, like material value for this is increasing and will just
mm,
continue to increase. Right? So my whole, like to summarize everything that I'm saying is I really want you to focus on allowing yourself to be valued, allowing yourself to receive, opening more and more to receive, like you and letting the parts of you that question that, letting them die. Like Pluto brings a transformative death, a rebirth, and it brings everything in Pluto and Aquarius just wants us to die to the frequencies that are not truth anymore and move into the more truer, higher frequency range.
okay.
And what let's talk about your Chiron a little bit here because this is what you're in like right now.
I do have one quick question.
Yeah, please.
Is Ceres an interdimensional planet? Tell me about what Ceres is.
Yeah, Ceres is actually about the same size as Pluto. It's an asteroid, but it's a planetary body. And when I say Ceres, it's Ceres. She's the divine earth goddess of harvest.
Mm,
So she had Persephone and Pluto, like in the myth, Pluto took Persephone to the underworld. A lot say Persephone chose to go to the underworld, but she's the one that represents the cycles of the seasons and of harvest. So she really represents um like that time at the end of summer when we're in harvest and the sweet frequency of life, when everything is coming in, we're receiving the harvest of of a life where we've built and we've worked and we've struggled and we've had loss and now we're like our daughter's coming home at all the, all the harvest has is coming into fruition, right?
Right. Okay.
And so she's a significant planetary body, but we call her an asteroid. But she's about the same size as Pluto. She's one of the closest in asteroids that orbits close to Pluto.
Okay. Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah. And Chiron is another asteroid, and Chiron is, they call him the wounded healer.
Hmm.
Chiron is profound. I would say that Chiron and Ceres are both like, there's certain asteroids as we raise in frequency as humans. You'll find some older, more traditional astrologers that say the asteroids don't mean anything. I've been doing readings for long enough and have done lots and lots of readings that asteroids are incredibly powerful. And in fact, the more high frequency a human is, the more they're affected by the asteroids because the asteroids are just a higher, finer frequency. The planets themselves are a little more dense. So, um, Chiron, they call him the wounded healer, and what he represents is our greatest wound that we spend our life healing, that becomes our greatest gift, and we transmit that healing power to the world around us.
All right.
Now you go through your Chiron return in your mid to late 40s. Once you've gone through your Chiron return, you are essentially like you no longer have to go through the struggles of healing the Chiron. You hold the healed frequency. Some people still struggle with their Chiron to some degree, but they're holding the whole healed frequency of that Chiron and they're transmitting it, even if it's still like an Achilles heel for them. And not everybody it is, and some people's it is. It just depends on their awareness and how much of their stuff they've done. Because of your Chiron placement, I would say that the greatest, you came in with a lot of self-worth, a lot of self-worth wounding, like not being worthy, not being open to receive people investing, not seeing your worth, not valuing yourself. But a lot of it was unconscious. Like
Mm.
you weren't aware of it. You didn't realize that you struggled with self-worth. Um, and and weren't open to receive,
Mm.
and weren't open to receive the greater, richer, more beautiful frequencies in life and support from the universe at large. And you've spent your life healing that, healing those worth issues. And now to have Pluto go over your Chiron is such a gift because any way that you still hold any unconscious frequencies of not being able to open to receive the richness and the beauty of this existence and like the frequency of that, to be the frequency of that. Like any unconscious old frequency patterns that you still hold that are related to trauma, abuse, addiction, past life stuff, or difficult relation stuff, it's because Venus is relationship too. It's dying. Like,
Mm.
and you're in that right now. Like you are
Mm.
solidly in that. Pluto's going to go back over your Chiron one more time this summer. It's going to make an exact conjunction to your Chiron on September 6th. And then it'll make one more exact conjunction when it goes forward. Let's see if my Ephemeris goes. You'll get one more exact conjunction in November. Um, and then Pluto's gonna be done with your Chiron. And so what this could, you may or may not be totally aware of this because it's the eighth house. So it's like an unconscious frequency.
Mm.
So how this is working with you, it's really interesting with the eighth house and the 12th house. Sometimes we don't see it as much. because it's like right over here. It's like right outside of our field of vision. But
Mm,
you're so familiar with this unconscious world and energy that I imagine you're sensing it and feeling it to some degree.
mhm,
And the truth is, it will start to show up in your world around you. This is going to massively impact your ability to transmit this healing power that you hold to an even greater degree.
mm.
So it's I really I want you to hear this and I want you to know this so you can open to the felt experience of this even more. Your ability to hold and transmit this very powerful harmonizing healing frequency is expanding massively. Because any way that you haven't been able to be in that frequency range all the time in every moment is just dying. So it's such a gift, like to have Pluto be working with you in this way in this lifetime is such a gift.
Wow.
So and what's kind of cool about this is, a lot of times Pluto makes us like we have to go through the process. Like we have to I've had I'm a unique individual. I've had a lot of Pluto squares in my life. I've had Pluto squaring my Mercury, my Mars, my Sun, my midheaven, my Venus. Like I'm in a short period of about 10 years, I have a ton of Pluto transits, and it usually makes us do our work. Like, but in the eighth house, I'm not sure how much you have to be like, how culpable Pluto makes you be part of it. It's like it's kind of working underneath the surface. Like
Right, right.
it's like it's just happening. And you just and it's because it's Aquarius, it's frequency. So
Mm,
it's like I think that for you, you're just going to continue to wake up every day and be like, wow, I hold this even more, even more, even more, and I'm able to transmit this even more, and you'll see it in your field of reality around you. And
mm.
then as Pluto starts to transit your series over the next couple years, your ability to receive the harvest of these massive gifts that you hold will just get more and more. It's already happening with Pluto on your Venus, but it's like that harvest energy. It's like you're there's a really sweet aspect of life and that sweetness of life that's just going to get better and better for you. And you're anything that holds you back from receiving that is just going to move out of the field of reality for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's really sweet. And this could tangibly bring money in. This could be people investing in you, people saying, "Hey, I want to fund this. Hey, I want," I mean, this could literally bring foundational investment in you as well.
That would be a may it be so.
Yep.
May it be so. You know, I love my show so much, and the people that participate, it's just I love it, and I want our audience to be 1,000 times the size, because I want thousands of people to see you, not hundreds, and all the people that I have on my show, I just really want to, so yeah, I would love to find the support to reach more people.
I love that. And I really like the universe is allowing like the pure frequency that you hold in that way to come online more. You're a 22-degree Aquarius midheaven. So the midheaven is your career and legacy point.
Hmm.
And 22 is the Grand Master degree of Aquarius. 22 is one of the most powerful degrees you can have in any sign. It's like the ability to open up portals or vortexes. And
Wow.
so this is like you have this, and this is in your ninth house. So you have this profound, you will leave a legacy, and your career is about opening up quantum portals to expansive faith and belief systems that support, an expansive, multidimensional, limitless reality.
Mm.
And so, I mean, I can't stress the importance of that midheaven more. 22 degrees of Aquarius is such a profound point in the entire zodiac because it's like it's literally you ha through what you do in the world, through your career and how you work with the world in that external way, you literally open up like timeline jumping and quantum leaps and quantum shifts to a more expanded reality that holds deep faith and
Mm.
just limitlessness, right?
Mm.
So and you have a lot of help there. You have Sekhmet. She's the goddess of she's the daughter of Ra in Egyptian mythology. She's the lion-headed goddess. And she holds this very strong power. So you have Sekhmet conjunct your midheaven. So it's like this, she's like raw primal power. So you have this raw defined feminine power helping in this ability to open up beautiful portals.
Wow.
I mean, you will have Pluto transit your midheaven in about 10 years, and that'll be significant too. I have a feeling that what you're doing in the world will will expand a lot. If that's what you desire, right? Because part of it's intention as well. And if that's where you place your attention and your intention, the universe is supporting that, really. That's what the universe is supporting right now is an expansion for you. And one other thing that's really helping this right now is the South Node. So where we have the South Node has an 18-year transit. So it's like where it hits, we get maybe, five in a lifetime if we're lucky. Uh,
Wow.
So you're having the South Node preparing to transit your Jupiter, and that's going to happen midsummer. Let me tell you exactly when. It's going to happen 124 on June 27th, early summer. Soon.
Okay.
So when the South Node transits your Jupiter, so this hasn't happened in 18 years, um, it's it's helping your Jupiter's in your third house. So your belief systems and um, like your mental reality are tied. Like you have stories that are tied to your belief systems, and you have belief systems that are tied to the stories you tell yourself.
Right.
And what's happening is the South Node is moving in. It has moved into your third house. So the South Node will be in your third house for the next 18 months. And it's helping you to release stories that are limiting you.
Wow.
And as it hits your Jupiter in June, it's helping you to do a massive dump of belief systems that are holding you back from telling the elevated stories, the stories that support your expansion and support more of what you're doing here in the world. Because your Jupiter and your Pluto's at 28 of Leo and your Jupiter's at 1 of Virgo. So the South Node's going to go over both of those here in this summer. And that's really significant because the story, what you communicate and teach to the world. When I say the stories, I'm talking about your inner dialogue and what you communicate to the world. And we all have some level of life affirming stories and some level of life negating stories. It's what we carry. And some of us carry a lot more life affirming and some carry, less life neg and by it's all over the board.
Sure.
And for you, what you teach, what you communicate, what you transmit to the world deeply transforms the heart with Pluto and Leo at 28 degrees. And you have the ability with Pluto and Jupiter conjunct, whatever Jupiter conjuncts, it expands massively. You have the ability to affect people's belief systems and their faith in reality through what you communicate and teach. And you have the ability to manifest greater expansion, greater um, love on this material plane through your teaching and what you communicate and the stories that you tell, right? And this is an internal and an external thing for you. And what's really cool is that the South Node right now, as you're going through these other Pluto transits, is going through that house for you, helping you to clear belief systems and life negating stories.
Mm.
So it's really fascinating to me because I always see this. I see where we're being worked with in different ways to fulfill our soul's mission, right? It's you're being prepped to go through an expansion, so you have to release anything in the mental realm and the belief realm that could hold you back from that expansion. Because as you go through that expansion, you transmit that. You
Yeah.
bring that forth.
Well, that makes sense between of course, the people that reach my Awakening World show and all day long, I'm coaching people. And what you said earlier is true. I have learned how to make it very safe for people to look at their shadow. So much of the people that life sends to me are people that on a soul level are ready to look at some hard stuff. And I've gotten really good at helping them look at it without judgment. It's just like my motto is how perfectly human, and
Yeah.
it's all perfectly human.
Yeah. I mean, we all have it. We're all God and human. And it's we all have parts that are messy and parts that are beautiful. And the people that have you have gained a mastery of that understanding in yourself and being able to sit with the messy and the beautiful at the same time in yourself. And that is so powerful to transmit to others
Yeah.
because it's what brings peace and it's what brings unity. I mean, we're disintegrated when we're not in union with those parts. And so when we bring ourselves in more and more union with ourselves, that brings more unity of consciousness throughout the field of reality. And and you're just a master of this consciousness. And you're actually a real master manifester. You have quite a few 28 degrees, and 28 is the master manifestation degree. And you have your Saturn at 28 degrees of Scorpio, you have your part of fortune at 28 degrees of Libra, and you have your Pluto at 28 degrees of Leo. And it's your Saturn is square to your Pluto and your Jupiter. So what that tells me is that throughout life, you there's a that square is a growth edge. So to have Saturn and Pluto square in your chart, it's you've you you have to be responsible for those unconscious stories that run beneath the surface. Like because it's at 28 degrees, you're manifesting in your daily life so much through what you think and what you believe.
Mhm.
And so, like more than most people, because you're just a natural at it. Like we could make the argument that we're all manifesting, in our daily life what we think and what we believe, but you actually like I can see you have a natural ability. You're just doing it all the time. You literally manifest moment to moment reality by what you think and what you believe.
Mm,
And so you've made yourself be responsible. I have to be responsible for what lives beneath the surface because it's coming out in my reality,
hmm,
whether I like it or not. And this is kind of one of the reasons you've become a master of this consciousness because it's directly reflected in your external reality.
hmm.
And you so the power that you hold in that, right? Like if it's like, wow, I like you really like if you could, I want to hand you your power back because the more that you master this, like you more than most people can create heaven on earth in your reality, right?
That's my goal. I mean, those are exact words that I use.
Like, I mean, you have the very, very, very strong ability. And for you, you just have to watch out for self-criticism.
Hmm.
You've got to, and it's hard because it's an unconscious thing for you. You mean there may be some conscious, but like you have to watch out for unconscious patterns of self-criticism about not working hard enough in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, I definitely have that one. Definitely.
Like you,
Like
you're,
people tell me I'm the hardest working person they know. And in my reality, it's like, oh, there's so much more that I need to be doing that I'm not doing.
yeah,
So,
like you got to as much as you can let those stories go because and I see you're a Capricorn. Like you have so much Capricorn energy, and so Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn.
hmm,
So we look to your Saturn because you're a Capricorn, Saturn's always really important for all of us, but it's even more important for you.
yeah.
And your Saturn is a really strong taskmaster. And it's like we got to heal the shadow. We got to do everything we can in our day-to-day life to heal the shadow. And and the truth is part of your experience is learning how to be more in enjoyment of like all of life and just letting it all be instead of being the taskmaster. Like you have to be the taskmaster too because it's part of your nature, but you also have to enjoy and have pleasure and like that has to be a part of your experience. And so it's the balancing of those two things that you're working on, like how to have more fun and more enjoyment in my day-to-day life while also, you know, working hard too, like, but not getting down on myself when it's time to have fun and I'm not working hard. It's like it's both. You have to walk the razor's edge of that. And as you master that more and more in your life, you really do create this life of heaven on earth for yourself. And your heaven on earth won't be, you won't stop working because you really enjoy what you do. You
Oh,
really
absolutely. I love,
you,
I
yeah,
will never retire.
yeah.
I will never, there will never be Scott. I might retire from a particular thing, but I
Yeah.
will never retire.
Yeah, your work is so much a part of your heart and who you are and what you're doing here on this planet that it's it's love. It's your service. You're very service oriented
Hmm.
and you get a great deal of satisfaction from the service that you provide to the world. And
Absolutely.
and that feeds your soul.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's no end to that. And you're here to master more and more the balance so that you really, really enjoy like you're not a part of you doesn't come up and criticize yourself, you know? Like you get to have it all. You get to have fun, you get to play, you get to work, you get to be in service, you get to have it all. Um, So I want to talk a little bit about your, this is, Uranus went over your moon in your 12th house about 2 years ago. And it was a back and forth thing. So it was happening from 2022 to 20, like, yeah, like late 2021 to 2023, 2024.
Mhm.
And this was like, I imagine there was a lot of emotional shifts around that time because having Uranus has an 88-year orbit. So having Uranus go over your moon, it shakes things up emotionally. Now,
Mm.
you have you're and housing, you could, the moon also represents home. Like you could have, I think you were moving and, in transit during that time too.
Yeah.
It's very Uranus on your moon.
You
Like,
said between 2021 and 2024, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The house that I had been in since 2011, I moved out of in 2022.
yeah. That's Uranus on your moon. It really it's like a revolution of what it feels like, what home is. And and really that's the external representation, but internally it's like a new home inside of yourself. Like,
Hmm.
and how you deal with the emotions of life. And you're a Taurus moon, so you're pretty steady and stable emotionally.
Hmm.
um, and you don't have a lot of ups and downs. And that's one of the things that makes people feel really safe with you. There's no
Hmm.
chaos in your emotional field. It's like,
Hmm.
and there could have been some chaos during that period because that's what Uranus does. Uranus brings chaos. And so there could have been a little bit of like upheaval, chaos kind of feeling in your emotional world. But you're different emotionally now than you were before this period of that of life. Like there's a more grounded, stable, secure feeling emotionally. Like home is where you are. It's not a physical place any longer. It's like home rests inside the heart, and home really for you is with spirit.
Hmm.
So you're a 12th house moon. A 12th house moon is the 12th house is the house of divinity,
Hmm.
So it's like you your safety now is all you're no longer caught up in the illusion and the of safety in the material plane. Like you understand that you are safe because you're a child of divinity, because you are divinity, that safety here is illusionary anyways, and
Hmm.
that your true safety resides and your security resides with source.
Yeah,
And
I am hip to that stuff.
yeah.
Oh, here
Uh,
we go. Here comes the
and
little one.
Oh, you're so precious. Hi, sweetie. And the emotionally too, like a 12th house moon, the only sometimes difficulty of a 12th house moon is it's also the house that it's like the house of the hidden as well. So I always think about the 12th house. The 12th house is really right here. So those of us who are really spiritual and really connected to divinity, we really spend a lot of time in the 12th house. Like
Hmm.
we this is the ethereal realm. This is like behind the curtain. But the only interesting thing with people who have a 12th house moon is it could actually be hard for them to sometimes know how they feel. Like, because it's it's like it's right over here. And so they actually have to close their eyes, like get into meditation and really feel into themselves how they're feeling. It's not you may become aware like a month later that I actually don't feel good about that. I thought I felt okay about that, but I don't.
Hmm.
It's it can take a little bit more work for you to access your emotional world.
Well, I think that's true, because you're right. I don't, I'm very emotionally stable, and so it's very rare that I experience a peak, any peak emotion, you know, whether it's peak joy or peak sadness. I mean, I would have to really think, when was the last time I had peak sadness or peak joy or peak anger? It's just, I'm, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very steady. And
Mm,
it has its extreme benefits, but there's also some pitfalls. I just want to make you aware of it. It's like,
no,
you could be experiencing something emotionally and not quite be aware of it. And because you're really psychic, um it's and you're psychic in an emotional way. So
mm,
that's the only thing is that, I'm sure you have a meditative practice, and someone like you, just really needs to have a very strong meditative practice to stay connected to what's happening emotionally for them, just because your channel is so emotional.
mm,
So it's like, if we get clogged emotionally, then that channel becomes clogged. Um,
mm,
I have something similar. My moon is conjunct my Neptune, which is sort of like having a 12th house moon. And people who have 12th house moons or moon conjunct Neptune, they're some of the most clairsentient psychic people on the planet.
mm.
But they really have to be connected to their emotional world for that channel to be really open. I would also say heart for you as well. It's your heart and your emotions because your Neptune's in your fifth house. So being really connected to what your heart is feeling. Both you have your Neptune's at zero of Scorpio. So zero is the Grandmaster Scorpio degree or Pluto degree, and it represents boundaries in consciousness. So people who have a 0 degree Neptune, they're like either wide open or they're shut,
Mm.
and they can go between. So if your heart is feeling heavy or you're not centered in your heart, you could shut
Mm.
because you don't feel safe to open and receive. Or if you're emotionally clogged, if you have a lot of emotions that you're not being present with, you could also shut.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good with being connected to my heart. Um, but I definitely, as you're talking about my emotions being plugged, that resonates. I think and there are times I've been extremely psychic, but it hasn't felt, it hasn't felt like that channel's been very open. Um, I mean, you know, I've had other spirits come into my body and talk to loved ones. Um, uh, that level of psychically open. Um, but not recently. Not, recently I haven't felt very psychically in tune. It does feel more closed.
It's the kind of thing if you wanted to open it more, I would consider working with somebody who's just an expert at getting into the deep layers of the emotional stuff. If you desire, you're doing very effective work in the world. It's not like it's a have to.
Hmm.
And you have a really, really strong psychic channel. So
Hmm.
that has the ability to be wide open. Um, and it's not like it's necessarily only you can know if that's actually what's in the highest good or not, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Right.
so or if you really do, if it would be beneficial to kind of clear some, like what happens with the emotional stuff, it's like I'm sure you're very aware. It's just like an emotion, we have it, and if we don't, like if it doesn't flow through, then it can just stay in our field, you
Yeah.
know? And so sometimes it's good to go through and do some of that deep. This is the kind of work that Magic does, with
Right.
clients. He gets them right into that deep stuff. He has the vast ability to like see exactly what it is and help them. And they have these massive every once in a while he'll be my coach, and every once in a while I'll be his astrologer, and so we did last week. We went on a hike and he was my coach and he helped me tap, and I had huge emotional releases. And some of them were, real releases, and some of them were I was just like yawning the whole time. I was moving,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and it was a lot of, he was helping me process a lot of anger. Around something that I had a lot of anger around and had already processed, but there was still more,
There's still more. Yeah.
yeah. And so I find that doing that type of maintenance work, like he's always doing that maintenance work. And I find that
Mhm.
doing that type of maintenance work for me sometimes just helps to keep my channel clear. So, and it's not a have to. It's if you're guided and it feels good. The truth is the Uranus going over your moon during that period made you even it increased your psychic ability in this way even more.
Uh-huh.
So as a profound clairsentient, would you do you relate with that? Or is that because it's 12th house, it might be out of your realm? Do you feel really clairsentient?
I would not describe myself that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It I I think you are like profoundly clairsentient. I think you feel everything in the field of reality around you, and it's one
Mhm.
of the things that makes you so good at what you do.
Mhm. I mean, when I'm doing my coaching work, I'm really focused on someone. Yeah. I mean, I can feel what's going on, and that's why people trust me because they can see that I'm feeling their pain or their sadness or whatever it is. Um, and and I'm really fortunate because I can be really present with my client and feel it and name it and empathize with them. And then when it's over, it's over. Like, 2 minutes later, I'm walking my dog or I'm playing a game or I'm listening to baseball or I'm multitasking and it's over.
So Uranus is continuing through your 12th house for the next 2 years. Uranus has about a 7-year orbit, and it's in your 12th house for the next 2 to 3 years, and then it's going to go over your rising. So in about 3 to 4 years, you're going to have a profound transit where Uranus goes over your rising. And Uranus going through your 12th is kind of preparing you for that. So Uranus through your 12th is really it's trying to elevate your connection to source even more. So when Uranus goes through your 12th, it's trying to raise the frequency of that channel and that connection. And so and because your moon is in the 12th, that's the reason I'm talking about all this. Like
Mhm.
I think the energies are pushing you to open that channel even more and clarify it even more because you do have this ability to hear and feel the voice of God, basically. And and what happens when Uranus goes over your rising, Uranus goes over your God point, which is the degree right before your rising,
Mhm.
and then goes over your rising. And this is a profound revolution in your identity. Like when you have Uranus go over your rising, you're actually holding more of the pure high frequency that you are because you're a really high frequency being, and it's the frequency of pure unconditional love with your Uranus being at one of Leo. And it's like Uranus will then go through your first house for 7 years, like making you hold higher electricity in your body and higher frequency in your body. Um, and it will change. it could change your appearance. It could change like your ego attachments in the world, how you identify, what you identify as. You're this very strong, expansive teacher archetype. And Uranus is wanting you to like teacher of love, transmitter of love, and like Uranus is wanting you to hold that more as you move into this cycle, basically. So, it it's interesting because we'll have to talk again in a few years as this is happening. I have several clients going through this right now because their rising is in the high degrees of Taurus, low degrees of Gemini. And it's like they're all like it can show up as like almost like identity crisis. Like I don't even know who I am. I have one client who has been using like marijuana his whole life and now all of a sudden he's stopped and he's like he's this really powerful healer too, but he's like I don't even know who I am anymore and like it's like he's becoming more of who he really is, but it's like the ground beneath him's not quite stable and steady. And it shows up differently for everybody, but it's about holding more of your high pure frequency in your body and in your personality. So Uranus moving through your 12th is preparing you for that. It's opening that channel wider. It's wanting you to let that frequency embody because a lot of people hold that high frequency right here and they're like you're this is a cycle where Uranus is like, yeah, there's like it's there, open that channel now, bring it more in the tissues and in the embodiment. You can ground it here and transmit it even more. You're already doing it, but
Yeah.
even more. Any questions
Wow.
about anything I've shared so far, Scott?
No, it's first of all, I so resonate, and I'm really glad we're recording this because I'll definitely play it multiple times. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm going to work on receiving more. I'm going to work on becoming more clear of, okay, what are my beliefs or thoughts that I've had that are blocking me from receptivity? That really stands out for me. And, I just want to be the best Scott I can possibly be.
I really want to share with you too that Archangel Michael, you hold a really strong power with actually Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, but especially Archangel Michael, your rising sign, you're like you hold the archetype of Michael like in your personality and your human here.
Mm.
Michael's the fixed star that represents Michael is 10 of Gemini and your rising is 12 of Gemini. And so he's like your constant ally and
Mm.
you're here holding the frequency of him in what you do in the world.
Mm.
And then you also, Raphael works with you very strongly because Raphael's fixed star is I think it's now at 0 of Virgo. It was at 29 of Leo, um, like with your Pluto and your Jupiter. So remember when I was talking about manifesting and transmitting through what you teach, what you communicate, Raphael is directly helping with that. So
Wow.
it's like, and he's the healing angel. So you hold a really strong angelic frequency in your field as well. So,
Beautiful.
and your body, like in your body, it's an angelic, you know, I would I would, I don't like to put things on people, but you're someone who I would call an earth angel with those placements. Most definitely, definitely embodied as an earth angel here.
Well, thank you. Um, I do have one question.
Mhm.
Uh, I've been single primarily for 6 years.
Yeah.
And before that, I was one of those guys that I always had a girlfriend or a wife.
Yeah.
Um, and I really would love to I'd love to find a Maggie. I'd love to, experience what you and Magic have found with each other. And also, I'm happy, I'm enjoying life. And so it's like if I'm single the rest of my life, I'll be okay. But there is that part of me that would love to really, but it would have to be a great relationship. I'm not available for, I because I coach people all day long. I see people that are in toxic, unhealthy relationships, just how draining it is. And I'm not available for that. But I would be available for something really, really powerful. So anyway, I am
Yeah.
curious if there's anything you see about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that for sure. So, part of the reason why I don't think you've been in relationship for the last 6 years is that Pluto on your Venus. So, like I said, you could have started to feel that Pluto on your Venus as far back as 2020,
Hmm.
and you're still feeling it, but it's done. So, what it's been transforming your sense of value around relationship. Like that's exactly what you just said. I'm just not available for, like, if it's not the real thing, if it's not it, I'm not available for it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of Pluto on your Venus has been transforming that at an unconscious level for you and the frequency that you hold. It's almost like you needed to be at this frequency level and to pull in that next relationship that is the real match. And you're just like, as I would say that it could happen anytime now, but as Pluto moves off of your Venus, really at the beginning of next year and beyond, you're more and more likely the further Pluto moves away from your Venus and is more of the you more in the embodiment of your pure frequency that I don't think that you could have drawn in the bright person during this time
Mhm.
because you were still transforming, you know, and in this way, in this particular way. And it's not like you're going to stop transforming, but you were still
Yeah.
transforming in this particular way, right? Um, so I think that the likelihood of the person coming in now as Pluto's moving off of your Venus, which it will really, really start to move off of your Venus starting this fall. So
Yeah.
it is, but it's going to start to like temporarily move back towards it. But this fall, it's like done with your Venus.
Okay.
And so I find that to be a really beautiful indication that the person could come in. What's also happened, what is also present in your chart is that you have your North Node, your destiny in this life, conjunct your Juno. And Juno is the sacred asteroid of sacred partnership.
Mm.
Um, so, and two things here. So that what that means essentially is that, and it's in your seventh house, which is the house of partnership and relationship. So your whole, let's talk about relationship in general for you because it's a really big thing. I mean, for you, relationship is the primary part of life. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I'm all day long, I'm helping people with their relationships.
it's
Life
it
is relationship.
It really is. You're a seventh house sun. So, seventh house is the house of long-term partnership and relationship and commitment. And so, as a seventh house sun, your heart values that more than anything. And it's like it likes to live there. It likes to work there. It likes to create a career that's about that,
Yeah.
Capricorn, right?
Yeah.
And it likes to believe in high level relationship.
Mhm.
Um, And then with your North Node, so our North Node is our destiny that we've never done before. Like it's like we made this deal with God, like if I don't do anything else in that lifetime, I'm going to do that. But I've never done it before, so I don't know how to do it. And so your whole life has been about learning how to be in the most expansive, fun, like beautiful relationship that there is, Sagittarius, because your North Node's in Sag. So it's fun, adventurous, it's spontaneous, yet committed. It's this really interesting, like,
Mm,
dynamic of like I want to have fun and be spontaneous and not know what to expect each moment, but also know that I have my person right here with me and we're going to be in that together, right? And but you haven't done it before this lifetime. So this
mm,
lifetime you're learning how to do that and you're learning how to be in that sacred partnership. But your Juno there says it's your destiny. Like
wow.
it's your destiny to be in this, but you've had to revolutionize your value to actually be met in this way in a new level with Pluto on your Venus over the last 6 years.
Wow.
So I believe that the truth is it's coming. I want to say one more thing. You do have Black Moon Lilith here, conjunct your sun in your seventh house. Magic has Black Moon Lilith in his seventh house. I have quite a few clients. Every client that I've ever had who has Black Moon Lilith in their seventh house. Black Moon Lilith represents unconscious fear. And it's unconscious fear that won't come into fruition in this life, but that directs our actions and behaviors. As much as you love relationship and want committed long-term relationship, it also unconsciously terrifies you
Mm,
because you have trauma from it. And so for you, the more that you grow and expand in life, the more that this actually becomes a gift, like when I first met Magic, he didn't want to get married. Like
wow.
he never wanted to get married.
Right.
Like, I mean, and we've had to overcome a lot for him. I mean, and now he's like, I'm so happy you're my wife. He's like so grateful that he like has a wife but it's something he had to overcome. And it usually comes later in life for people that have a Black Moon Lilith in the seventh house, and they usually have to overcome some avoidant tendencies.
Mm,
They tend to have either conscious or unconscious like avoidant tendencies where they really want relationship, but then when they have it, they're like, no, I'm not sure I do. Like, so you're working with that too. And the key with the Black Moon Lilith is what you naturally do to continue to delve into the unconscious and look where you probably hold these two parts of your character that really want relationship, but also really don't want the all parts of relationship, you know?
right.
And just and the more you do that and the more that you look at that, the perfect person who can help you dive into that and be with that will show up, right?
Mm,
So I imagine that the perfect person, it won't it won't always feel perfect.
mm,
Like people with Black Moon Lilith here, they're here to be in transformative relationships. So you will draw in a person who will help you see, like Magic and I talk about all the time how we're so perfectly matched, meaning we're perfectly matched in all the difficult stuff too. So
mm,
his wounds perfectly match my wounds,
right.
right? And
Right.
so we also trigger each other, but we can hold each other in it. We really like we so gently can hold each other in it. And it hasn't always been gentle, but we've gotten to that point, you know? And so we've learned and we've stayed committed because we love each other. And really it's the most beautiful, rewarding thing. And I think that your perfect person will come with there will be transformation in it. But you're Plutonian by nature, so your soul craves that.
Yeah.
So as much as you might think you want just a harmonious relationship, you actually need a little bit of you know, the stuff that takes you to the shadow, you know?
Right. Right.
You just need someone evolved enough to do it with you in an evolved way.
Just as long as it's fun. It's got to be fun.
I mean, you are here to have fun in your relationship. Like that's what's your Sag Juno conjunct your North Node. And so you guys are gonna have fun and you're going to have the deepest, richest intimacy that you've ever had.
Mhm.
And I really see it coming for you. Like North Node in the seventh house, it's part of your destiny.
That's beautiful to hear. Thank you. It's a lovely relief, Maggie. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Uh, well, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope
It's been
you enjoyed
fantastic.
it.
And I'm going to be able to really give a big shout out tomorrow when I'm promoting you and really encourage to the degree you've got ability to take on some new clients. I'm sure a lot of my people will really, really enjoy working with you. And this has been just a wonderful way. I've got 6 client sessions today. It's
Oh
like
goodness.
three is usually my limit.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting to start my day with this beautiful gift from you. And now I'm going to go over to my big desk and, become Love Coach Scott between now and my last session starts at 8 o'clock tonight. So
Oh goodness, what a big day. Well,
big
I'm
day.
I'm so grateful I got to spend time with you this morning, and I hope that it infuses beauty into your whole day.
It's been fantastic. Much love, and I get to see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
so grateful. I'm so
Thank
grateful.
you, Maggie. And
Oh,
please do send me the recording.
I will, definitely.
Thank
Definitely.
you, thank you. And give Magic a hug for me.
I will. I will. Lots of love to you, Scott.
See you tomorrow.
Take care.